Welcome to the Bigger Room Podcast. I'm your host, Jill Bender.
And I'm Mel Cobian, and today we're going to talk about why being a couch potato is why you won't make money online.
Ooh.
Ooh. It's the best hook I can come up with to get people's attention.
All right, did we grab your attention?
Yeah. So what is a couch potato, right? Somebody who just wakes up, maybe rolls over, grabs their phone. Maybe you do what you're supposed to do, like your 9 to 5, whatever that may look like. But you're glued to your phone, you're glued to the TV, hence the couch potato, right? Did you ever have a period in your life where your life might have been like that? I for sure have. What about for you?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially once there was only a short period of time where I had lived fully by myself. And I remember going to work and then coming home, and I was in a condo and I really had no idea what else I was supposed to do. So I would make dinner and I would sit down, and then because I got off work at like 3:30 at that time, I would eat dinner and then I would sit there and I'd be watching TV, and then I'd like pass out for a minute, and then I'd wake back up, and then I wouldn't be able to sleep at night, and like I hated it. Like, and I knew I hated it, but I didn't know what else to do, and we didn't have social media at that time, so I had nothing to scroll.
How do you
TV.
like, if you could? For me, it's like I had full-time school and then a part-time job, and then like after I finished school, it went to having a full-time job and then like a part-time school. I've always been working on, like, I've always was just working on something extra. And then last year I dropped my master's program, but the last thing I cared about was getting a workout in. I had the intent, like, I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to get a workout in, but I didn't. And how would you say, Jill, your mindset was around that time where you weren't able to, prioritize fitness?
I was definitely not as happy. I mean, sometimes I would get my butt up and go for a walk around the condo area, and then I'd feel amazing. But usually that was a lot of effort to even talk myself into doing that. Then I would just kind of feel like a loser. It would eat at me. It would. It's like, just get up.
Yeah.
I have a lot of arguments with myself, which I think a lot of people do. Internal arguments.
Definitely. Yeah, it's that internal voice that, that like the angel and the devil. Oh, do it. It's good for you. Oh, but you should rest because you have to do this tomorrow. Yeah. How important now that, we've been business owners. I think you definitely started online business before me. But now that you've been on this journey, how important has fitness been for you, and what benefits has it had for your business and yourself and your growth?
Well, I want to say, when I lived with the family that I nannied for, I used to smoke cigarettes, okay? I'm like early 20s. Actually, I moved in when I was 19. I know. I smoked. And I wasn't like a smoker. Like, you've seen me drink, right? I just pound it. Like, I don't really have a very good limit or when to stop. That was exactly how I smoked. So if I was out drinking and then I start smoking, I've had nights where I would clear 2 full packs of cigarettes in a night of drinking. See how disgusting that is? It is so gross. And of course, cigarettes are like $2 to $3 at that point. They're now like $10 like they are right now. But so I live with the nanny family. I'm living with the nanny family, and one day, the mom comes into my room and she's like, "Jill, get up." I'm like, "What? Why?" And she's like, "You're coming running with me." I'm like, "I don't run." And she's like, "Get up. You're coming running with me." I'm like, "Okay." And I like respected her. She was my idol. I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to get up. Mary's telling me to get up." And I thought it was kind of fun because I knew about, like, usually it was wealthier families where they did family exercises together. And I'm like, okay, I'm being included in this. I'm going to get up. And then we went for a run. And I'm like, we got back and I said, I can't believe I ran that entire time. I'm like, what did we run? Like a full mile? And she's like, Jill, we just ran 4 miles. I'm like, I just smoked a whole pack of cigarettes last night and ran a full mile, or 4 miles the next morning. I'm like, that is freaking cool. So over
Heck yeah.
time, it became like a regular thing to run with her, and the cigarettes went away, and I realized I didn't want them, but I freaking loved it. Like, we got back from running, feel amazing. We would make Gatorade with the powder and the water and mix it up, and whoever was working out, we all slammed our Gatorades and made breakfast and got everything about our whole day, and is awesome. So I don't even know what you asked me, but I have always wanted it to be a regular thing in my life. I think that was how important is it. And so for the rest of, okay, so I did that when I was in my early 20s, and now I'm 47. So a good 20 to 25 years, I have constantly wanted it to be a regular part of my life, and it always would eat at me when I didn't actually include it. So it's super important.
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. Just, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting how you went from smoking that much to just quitting. I mean, I know a lot of people have, even till this day, that's something that they struggle with. Some people just don't care and they don't want to quit, and like, hey, like, to each their own, like, that's your life. But specifically, like, for the purposes of this episode, right, like, how important, like, our circle of peers, that is the number one thing I've observed about all of us, is we all work out. We all go to the gym, or we go for walks. Like, we do something to move our body. And every single one of us, I know that, you know, we kind of feed off of each other's energy when, you know, when we get to catch up. And when we don't, when we're not our best selves, it's probably because you've let go of all of us work out. And I know that for me, and I know, like, the way you're describing it, it's our outlet. Like, how describe that feeling after a workout, especially when you don't want to work out. It's like, it's such a high. You're like, yes.
It is. It is such a high. And when I was at my personal trainer's, it was 2 weeks ago, I started working out. I said, I did not want to come today. And she said, it would have been fine. I'm like, I know, but can I tell you how happy I am that I'm here? And she said, I have never had one person come here and say, I'm so mad I'm here. And she said, yeah, it doesn't matter how you feel, just do it. Just do it and you're going to feel awesome. And it's 100% true.
Yeah. As someone who's trained thousands of people, I've never heard anybody say, I regretted that workout. I regretted coming.
Right.
No, it's always the opposite. It's like, oh, I really didn't want to get up from bed, but, you know, you showed up for me, so here I am. And they're kind of dragging ass. And then toward the end, they're just like, whew, like, I'm so happy I came. And it's like that high. It's so rewarding, especially when you don't want to show up. And maybe you guys have heard that quote, that the quote that, like, something about showing up when you don't want to is more important than showing up when you're motivated. Something like that.
Last week and a half, I was sick. Like, I had a really bad cold, but I had my son's never-ending birthday coming up that weekend. And so I was like, I gotta just keep going, right? And then I thought I was better. His party went fine. I didn't feel sick. But then by Monday, I was, like, sick. And I was even sicker than I was the weekend, like, before it. And I'm like, oh my God. So by the time Thursday came, that was the first day I was actually going to go to my personal trainers, just because everything was so hectic. And I kept changing the day. And so I texted her Thursday. I was supposed to be there at 11:15. I texted her at 11. I said, would you hate me if I didn't show up? And I already knew she wouldn't. Like, she does this out of her house. So if somebody doesn't show up, she just has more time to herself, right? And And she always says, do not worry about me canceling. So I'm like, would you hate it if I didn't show up? I said, I already know you won't. But, like, I kind of have a sinus infection. I just really don't feel good. And then before she could even answer, I said, yeah, you're right. I should probably just do it anyway. And she finally replied, and she's like, if you don't feel good, you know, I'm fine. Either way, I said, nope, I already made up my mind. I'll see you in 15 minutes. And she's just like, LOL, okay. But I went
Yeah,
there. I am not
that's
kidding. I
funny.
went there and worked out. And it was 2 days later that I was like, huh, I forgot I was sick the other day. I literally went there, worked out, and was no longer sick. Like it just knocked the rest of whatever was lingering totally out of me. Fucking love it. You guys,
Yeah,
if you don't work out, start working out. It is the best thing you could do for your life. It really
uh,
is. And you
it
stay
is.
motivated. That's
It's
the biggest
the
thing. It motivates you for the whole day.
Yeah, it goes hand in hand with being a business owner because as a business owner, you have to show up. Whether you feel like it or not, like you have to show up. Nobody can work out for you. Nobody can eat for you. Nobody's going to run your business for you. You have to show up. So if you're not showing up for yourself in fitness, you're definitely not going to show up for yourself as a business owner. And a lot of you that are probably listening are driven to be an entrepreneur. You're driven to be your own boss. Working out is free, right? So it's like, do it, guys.
Well,
Just
not
do
for
it.
me, but
Well, that's because.
um,
But oh, let's touch on that though, Joe, because it's the same thing as hiring a business coach, right?
yeah,
You wanted more
yeah,
out of your experience with fitness, right? You wanted that
absolutely.
shortcut to results, right? You wanted to the education that you're getting because I know for a fact that having a personal trainer, now you know more about how to train properly, right? What works for your
Yep.
body, right? You have more tools and you're also learning about nutrition, right? So when you hire a personal trainer, it really is an investment for the long-term benefits. Same thing with business.
100%.
If you hire a business coach, a mentor,
Yep.
you still have to do the work. You still have to work out. You're the one that's eating. You have to wake up and want it every single day. Same thing with getting a business coach.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you have a trainer, just because you hire a business coach, it doesn't mean that it's going to be easier. It just means
Right.
you have
And
somebody
like I
to hold
said,
your hand.
yeah, and like I said, when I text her and say I think I'm gonna cancel, she's like, that's fine. Like she's good with it. She's okay with it. She doesn't say, no, you're gonna regret it. Like she says nothing. It is up to me to
Yeah.
either show up or not show up. And like I said, every single time I do, it is 100% the best decision that I ever could have made.
Yeah. And I think we touched on this in one of our earlier episodes that you can be the one to hire the personal trainer or you can become the personal trainer, meaning that you can become the student and learn the craft. If you don't want to go hire a business coach, you don't want to go hire a personal trainer, the discipline to be a student and learn is still the same. Whether you hire
I
a
think it's
personal trainer or
harder.
decide to become one yourself.
And it's
It's
harder. The discipline's harder.
I Yeah, yeah, discipline is something that cannot be taught. It's something that you wake up with that fire, you wake up with that drive. And honestly, the moment, and some people might not like my choice of words, but it is self-respect to work out. It is self-respect for your body, your soul, your mind. Those three things work together. And when you work out, you connect them because you let go of the stress. You fall into the breathing and you're moving your body and it's, you treat it like a temple and you feel freaking amazing. And the person you are after you work out, it is like who we're meant to be. Like it's super jolly, super happy, like super excited. Nobody can piss you off. And that's who we're meant to be. So it really is. It's just like make it part of who you are and it will change your life.
Yeah. So the other day, I knew I had only worked out with her the one day, and then I really didn't work out. Like I was just sick, and I was moving and doing stuff, but I just didn't, like work out. And so then on that was Thursday, and then on Friday, I asked my friend who I'll bike with sometimes. I'm like, "Do you want to bike?" And she's like, "Yeah, I can on Friday, but I can't on Saturday." I'm like, "Cool, fine, let's do it." So Saturday morning, she said I could only go early. I'm like, I'd rather get it done early. So we rode from like 8:30 to I think 9:30, got home, and then my bike was a little bit dirty. And if you don't know, I now have like a $3,000 bicycle, mountain bike. It was my upgrade when I started making all my money because my previous bike was 30 years old. and I stuck with it like a champ. And it stuck with me. It was like a great bike, but my upgrade was a very expensive bike, and we've had so much rain here, so my bike after this ride on Saturday was like had some mud going up it. It's pretty dusty, and I realized I just really haven't even cleaned this $3,000 bike you think that you would cherish. Never even cleaned it once. So I left it on the bike rack, and right when I got home, my son's not here right now. He went out of town with my mom, so I have time. I'm like, I'm going to wash my bike. I'm going to leave it on the bike rack on the back of the car. I'm going to wash it, and it's going to look beautiful. And so I scrubbed down the bike, and I'm like, oh, while I'm doing this, I'm going to wash the rims of my Bronco because the car wash just never gets the rims. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to shine those up before my trip. And so I'm washing the sides, and then I noticed like some spots on the door. So then I'm cleaning the door, and then I'm cleaning half the side. And I'm like, what, am I only going to clean half my truck? That's stupid. So then I washed my whole freaking truck by hand, which was awesome. And like, that's how the whole day went after that bike ride. Everything was just like, boom, I'm getting this done. I'm getting that done. My day's amazing. And I just had like the best day. It was so productive. I did so many great things, and I worked on my business a ton. Like, it was just a good day. And then I went to a party and drank until 4 in the freaking morning. So Sunday didn't go well. Sunday was not great.
You blow me away. 4 a.m. Gosh.
Oh,
I'm like getting
so
ready to wake up
stupid.
at that time sometimes.
And the only reason I even went home at 4 was because I looked at my friends and I said, I am not watching the sunrise here. I need to go home. I cannot be here when the sun comes up. I need to leave now. Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Wow.
But I don't do that often, so I felt okay about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Mel, do you
to
work out
say?
every single day?
I do something every single day. Yes. I walk twice, once in the morning, once in the evening. I had to push my evening walk because it's starting to get hot. So I walk an hour a day. And if I don't do cycling, I prioritize strength training and then yoga and then cycling. So it's one of those 3 mixes. Whatever I feel like it that day.
Do you have a recumbent bike in your house or something?
Do I ever what? I'm sorry?
A recumbent bike? What do you cycle on?
I have a bike. So I have like a full-blown gym in my garage. Yeah. So I have a TV. I watch like murder shows, and I just cycle. No, I can't. I don't. I'll listen to like Peloton or something. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so you have a Peloton bike?
Yeah. No, it's a Bowflex, but I have it's the Apple. As someone who spent, like a decade in the fitness field, I always say every coach needs a coach because you can get very comfortable with your training routine. So as someone who knows about fitness, especially my body, I have to sometimes go to classes or take something like, like a cycling class because I need somebody to also push me because I know my limits, and then I'm like, oh, this is my limit. And then I don't push myself. So regardless of what, pillar of life you're working on, you're always going to need somebody to push you because you won't push you as hard as somebody else will.
Nope. My, sorry, hold on. My personal trainer, I went there the other day, and she's like, hold on, I need to clean this mirror. I'm so sorry. And so, like, her workout room is filled with mirrors. And she said, it looks like a crime scene. I'm like, what is it? Like, this whole mirror had all these spots all over, and she's like, it's sweat. I'm like, from who? She's like, from me. I'm like, oh my God. You sweat that much? She's like, I sweat like crazy. And I'm like, and it just whips on the glass. It's so gross. And she's like, yeah, I do. And I'm like, and there, as I was working out, I'm like, does that mean I don't work out as hard because I'm not whipping sweat everywhere?
No, it's just everyone is different. In different body, different pores, different. I sweat very easily. And like right now it's like a sauna in there. So I have to work out very early or just go to the actual gym where there's air conditioner. But then I really love the sauna. So sometimes I like when it's hot.
I hate the sauna. I like steam rooms. I hate saunas. I cannot breathe in that dry heat. It makes me like choke.
Oh, we're going to definitely be buying a sauna in our next house.
Yeah. My mom has one in her
That's how much
basement,
we love
but I
the
have
sauna.
no interest in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the sauna.
Ooh, I saw a new on TikTok. I saw some. Um, I started following this guy that it's like a company that puts in pools, but they put in
Mm-hmm.
way cooler pools than a pool, and it's like every side almost like kind of just goes in gradually, you know, and it looks more like I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know if they were going to fill it in and make a pond out of it the way it was designed, or if it was going to be a pool. But then I saw people start getting in and swimming around. I'm like, whoa, that's freaking crazy and cool. Um, and I'm not going to do the bath bombs because I watched a guy
Oh, yeah.
that said he did the bath bombs in his pool. So if you don't know, for those listening, if you don't know, my like dream is to own a pool and then jump like either Orbeez or bath bombs or something in there. So this guy, for a video, he dumped hundreds and hundreds of these bath bombs in there. It cost him over $8,000 because it ruined the lining of the pool. They had to reline it. They had to drain the whole pool, of course, and it ruined the filters and all the equipment to make the pool run. Got totally fried out from all the bath bomb stuff. So I'm probably not going to do that ever, but I will
But
do
Jill,
Orbeez. Yeah,
haven't you made like haven't you made $8,000 days?
yeah. I'm
Oh,
not
so
spending
it's,
enough.
it's all good.
Depends on where I'm
guys-
at when I get the pool.
Right. Yeah. It reminds me of the conversation we had when we were at the mastermind and we were all like celebrating our big wins, and we used to talk about how we made life decisions now. Like we were like, oh, that's only X amount of sales per day. Like that's fine.
So many
It's
things.
yeah, yeah. So guys, it is that feeling of just winning, right? It really is winning, hacking life. We are here for an experience. Hack it. And everything that we share with you on this podcast are things that we prioritize so that we have results, so that we get to live the life we want. And fitness is a part of it. But I know Jill and I both want everyone to experience that feeling of spending $8,000 in one day.
And what's so cool is that I love when somebody's like, "Yeah, but that's going to cost $300." I'm like, "That's only $300." Like it's like not
I know.
$300 to me anymore. Like $300 is so different than it used to be.
It is different.
And
It is so different.
it is. Yeah,
And, you know, you
it
shouldn't
is.
have to
It is life-altering too.
sacrifice. Yeah. You shouldn't have to sacrifice life experiences. Like a lot of people say, like, oh, I'm not going to go out and eat this weekend. I'm not going to go out and not eat, like, you know, for the rest of the summer or whatever. It's like how many summers do you get? Not very many. And how many
Yeah.
good ones do you get where you're feeling like your best self? Not very much. So why are you going to continue to prioritize missing out on life experiences when all you have to do is be disciplined, implement, take action, and take control?
And be willing
Right?
to get help from somebody, to have somebody like a coach, a mentor, or something. Be just recognize the fact that what you've been trying already hasn't been working. So you need to look at somebody that will help guide you, at least get you to that point where you're getting all the results, and then decide if you still want the coaching or the mentoring or whatever. And most likely you're going to always want somebody to level up to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big deal. And this morning in my mastermind group, I went in there and I was like, guys, I know we're rolling into the 4th of July. So by the time you guys hear this, 4th of July will have passed, but I know we're rolling into a holiday week. So bust your ass right now in these first 3 days before the holiday hits and get your stuff done so that you can coast through those other days and you don't feel like, oh, I didn't show up today. You can still show up because you had it all prepped and ready and you did the work. Like, just work super hard right now. Put in those extra efforts. So in your online business, in your health, in everything, put the effort in now because it's going to make your life so much easier down the road.
Yeah. And life happens for you, not to you. right? So if you fail
Mm-hmm.
to prepare, you fail to plan, that's on you. Life didn't happen to you. It's happening for you. And
Mm-hmm.
you are not going to push yourself as much as your ego, because it's the ego and the pride. You want to believe like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do everything it takes. You're going to hit a wall. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen because there's only so much willpower that you can put in without the direction. Because a lot of people, and I'm very much like that. Like I am a person that freaking will get the free information and I actually implement, but I know that I'm always going to have more questions. And if I can't get the answers right away, I'm not going to care anymore. I'm not going to care.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, because
don't
it's
wait to
like
get to a
having that.
point.
So I just want to say this on your point. It's like an impulse
Yeah.
buy when you're there and you're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, I'm going to get this. But if you let that time pass because you didn't get the right information, all of a sudden your brain's kind of like, maybe I didn't need that so much. So if you're trying
Yeah.
to implement, but you're missing a piece that you needed and you can't get anybody to help you with it, your brain starts to tell you,
Yeah.
maybe you really have to.
Oh,
You
yeah.
didn't want that so bad anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you buy it on a weekend, you have that time for your brain to be like, oh, maybe I should like send it back or get a refund or request a refund. You took action for a reason because the little voice said, hey, like you should do this. Like you need to do this. Like you need this personal trainer or you need this fitness plan or you need this, program or whatever. There's a reason why. You need to remember why and not let the little voice take
Mm-hmm.
control, because that little voice is actually the self-sabotage, because it's easier for you to give up before you even start because you don't want to fail. It's just you don't
Mm-hmm.
recognize that that's the actual like reason until you're able to be that person that steps back and actually analyzes like, how am I actually behaving? Why am I behaving this way? Why do I want a refund? Why am I actually not watching the program that I bought? Because if you don't, then you can blame the program instead of taking accountability.
So I have, this is how powerful the mind is. And I told you last time we talked, Mel, and I said that I was arguing with myself where I was like, telling me, oh, and I was going to put the schedule together. And I was like, my brain was like, no, no. And you're like, so you were literally like canceling out your own schedule that you were creating. You didn't want to listen to you telling you what to do. I'm like, yeah, it was like just too much for my brain. It was like, no, I'm going to fight it. So I had the other day, I wrote down a sticky note and I hung it on the fridge and it says, it's just 7 more days. And so that meant anytime I went to the fridge, stop going to the fridge, stop grabbing a snack, like only make, yeah, I know you love your sticky notes, like only make good choices right now. So my good choices for 7 days was to like super, super low carb, like focus on you getting your proteins, your healthy fats, like the good stuff. And like, it's just 7 days, like until you go out of town, just 7 days. So yesterday, yeah, it was yesterday. Like I was doing good, and I had 3 days left, I think. And last night, I ate lunch and dinner at like this weird 3 o'clock hour. So then around 7, I was actually kind of getting hungry, but I also don't know if my mind was tricking me. And I'm like, okay, so I had dinner at such a weird time. Like maybe I'll just have like dinner, technically again. But so I decided I was just gonna have 2 of my turkey tacos. Like that's it. Keep it simple. So I made those. I had those, and I don't normally eat after 7 either. And then I'm like, I just feel like I want to eat something, like something super fun. And then my devil's like, do it, do it. And the angel's like, no, we still are on our 7-day plan. It's not a good choice. Don't do it. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm doing it. And I totally was telling myself to F off the whole time. And I did. I like had self-destruction last night and totally just ate junk. And I'm like, you're going to be so pissed later. You're going to not be happy. Like, why would you do this? But yeah, I definitely don't win every time. And I didn't work out yesterday. So I think that was part of what was not making me feel great. Oh, because I stayed up till 4 a.m. So, don't stay up till 4 a.m.
Right? Is yeah, that's one way to not enjoy your next day. That's the thing though, right? It's never going to be a perfect day. you're talking about your schedule, and like I showed my sticky notes. Like I just told you before we jumped on, like I redid my entire calendar, and even though like I'm a person that thrives off of like I need to know like what my tasks are like every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah, you
mean
like the structure.
it's not gonna go. I love the structure. I mean that's just the way my brain works.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always gonna go that way, and if it doesn't, it's okay, right? No judgment, right? It's like you can't judge yourself and like tell yourself like, oh, you know, you did bad, blah, 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 because that's also not healthy. That is not. You need to have a good relationship with yourself, right? So same thing with
Yeah.
business. You know, you show up, you do, but sometimes you don't want to create content. Sometimes you don't want to show up on social media, and it's okay, right? But what makes it different, right, Jill, is moving on. The next day, it's a new day. It's a new day, and you just move forward. You fail forward, and you do it fast, and that's where a lot of people just have that first failure, and then they give up.
Oh, 100%. So where I'm at right now, I've created really good habits, especially this year, because last year I was very hands off. um, and this year especially more recently, like I increased the content that I was posting. And so I was like post in the morning, but I've been creating the content on the day of, like I just haven't been able to get the batching down yet, but it's okay. It'll come. So,
Gives me
so,
anxiety.
oh yeah, you would be anxiety crazy if you were in my head, but I'm calm. I'm fine. I'm not usually. It is what it is. So when you go to bed at 4 in the morning, I did wake up at 5:50, let the dog out, who I later found was chewing on a baby bunny, so then I had to run outside hungover. I was gonna throw up. Maybe I'll cut this part out. And then pick up a dead cute little bunny. Oh, I've been picking up dead bunnies all week. It's been for like the last 5 days. It's been absolutely horrible. But then I did take a nap, but the whole time I could hear our mentor, your previous mentor, I could hear him saying, just show up regardless of how you feel. Just show up. I'm like, I can't. I'm going to throw up. I can't show up. I'm like, this is why you need your content batched for these emergency situations. But I kept telling myself, I'm like, it's okay. You're going to show up as soon as you get past this like little sickness part. And I'm like, I'm still going to get there. So I think I didn't post anything until like, I think 11:30 I managed to get something, maybe 12:30, but I still ended up posting 3 for the whole day, which is pretty good. And I batched 2 for later. So I did not feel like I completely wasted the day. And I still, it was still like a decent day and I did show up. But that's because I had built these habits, right?
That actually reminds me of a good challenge. Is if you sit down to do a task, record yourself. Put your phone somewhere and actually record yourself and take action, because there's a sociology experiment where people did that and they realized that they actually were just like either on their phone, or they were just like not really taking any action, or oh yeah, I have to do this or I have to do that. Like they were just getting distracted. But observe how you actually are when you show up to do a task. You'll be very surprised. If you're somebody who like allocates an hour to do a task and you get nothing done, please do this challenge of filming yourself, because just watch to see. Maybe you need to do things in 20-minute increments instead.
Yeah, I know how my stuff goes. I do. Like a butterfly goes past and I'm like, woo! And then a fish swims by, I'm like, woo! And then all of a sudden I'm doing something else and I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta feed them. Oh yeah, I'm gonna clean their tank. Ooh, I should go do that. Oh yeah, I was gonna make a reel. Sit your ass down. And then, like, I sit here and then an email pops up. I'm like, holy crap. But I do have a good tip for you guys that do, work, or even if you're working your own business, if you have this issue, but mostly for people that work like office work. This is one of the things that I did. Unfortunately, it was way later, like the year that I was quitting, retiring, is with like Outlook. For most of us at work have Outlook, for corporate jobs and stuff. Outlook does little pop-up notifications. You got an email, you got an email, you got an email. And then when COVID hit and we all got Teams, and so now you got a chat popping up, somebody needs something, and you're getting these little window notifications on your screen. That is the biggest distraction in the world. It is awful. You're like, oh, I'm going to help them really quick. They're just looking for this one file. And then boom, you're doing that for 25 minutes, and then you forgot what you were even working on. So, and I think it was 2023 at some point. I think it was my previous boss, and she was like, just shut off the notifications. I'm like, but then I might not know it. She's like, none of it is urgent. If it's urgent, they're going to call you or come find you in the office, which we were working from home at that time. But she said, just shut off the notifications if they're distracting. And I'm like, I'm going to do that. And then I had told another girl, I'm like, just shut off the Teams notification. She's like, hey, what a good idea. Because she wouldn't stop working at 4:00 when she was done working. She's like, I just work and then I work all night. And I'm like, shut off the damn notifications. Like, you are not required to work past your 8 hours. You can't sit there and make this a whole time day thing until you go to bed. That's crazy. So yeah, once I shut off all those notifications, it was amazing how productive I was. You don't have those constant, like, in your face. And for us, we have WhatsApp, like, that's binging all the time.
Oh,
shut off the notifications. Look at it when you need to.
The amount of notifications I get is ridiculous. Ridiculous. So you have to shut them off, and your time is valuable. Your time is so valuable. Yeah. Your time is truly, it's money. Time is money. So you need to allocate that.
It's yours.
Yeah. Yeah, and because people are not going to respect your times. You need to put the boundaries. You need to do that. So, yeah.
And don't feel bad.
Moral of the story. Yeah, don't be a couch potato.
Moral of the story. Don't be a couch potato.
Yeah,
get moving, guys. It's not that hard. Like, it is hard. Sometimes it feels like, oh my God, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Everything in your brain and your body is saying,
you know what's hard?
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
What?
Disease is hard. Diabetes is hard. Cancer is hard. That shit's hard.
Hell yeah. Yep. Being broke is hard.
Yeah, being broke is hard. Freaking move. Like, that can be the engine to you actually taking action in other things. People always talk about how fitness, help their mindset. If you can help your mindset, maybe you can actually become that entrepreneur that you want to be. Maybe you get to become that partner that you want to be. Like, so many things just start connecting and open. You actually start living, so it's clearly you guys can tell we're passionate about it, because we know how important it is and how huge of a role it's played in our success. So that's what we're preaching on today's episode. You want to call it out?
And one last thing, like, if you know Mel and I, which I think a lot of you do, you know what we look like. Like, Mel is tall. Well, you might not know, but Mel's tall, but Mel is extremely tall compared to me. But she's tall and she's lean. So for her, you think, like, that's just like a natural thing. She can easily work out. I do carry a little bit more weight, and I'm shorter. So even though I do fight a major battle with weight, and I have done that forever, I still know that I want to work out, and I do show up to work out. Even though I have all of this extra weight still, it's like, I know it's doing all this good stuff for me, and everything falls into place later, and I set myself up for all kinds of good things and prevent bad things from coming. So don't even give yourself the excuse of, like, I told my friend, I was watching about it was like 100 days of 50 push-ups. I don't know if you've heard about that challenge ever.
Oh, yeah.
But every day I do 100 or 50 push-ups a day. So I was telling my friend who I was biking with this morning, and I'm like, you should do that challenge. I'll do it with you. And she's like, God, I can't do 50 push-ups a day. I'm like, I already know you can't. I said, I don't even know if I could do 50. I could probably easily knock out 20 at this point, like good, solid, go down push-ups. And she's like, I could maybe do 5. And I said, I thought about this. What if we call each other in the morning and, like, stop, drop, do your push-ups right now, and we'll just do them while we're on the phone. It will be a 10-minute call if we're really going slow, but it'll probably be like a 3-minute call. Like, it's not going to be long, stop, do your push-ups. You don't have to change your clothes. Like, you don't have to get in workout, anything. And she's like, okay. And she said, I said, I'll probably start with, like, we're going to build up the number. And she said, yeah, I could probably start with 5. And I said, all right, I'll probably start with 8. And then I said, but by the time the end of the month comes, you should be doing at least 10 to 15. Like, it's going to take you a while. And she's like, are you talking about not on your knees? I'm like, not on your knees. No, we're not doing push-up on our knees. Like, these are actual push-ups. Yeah. She's like, maybe I could do 2 or 3. I'm like, whatever. We just have to get started. Yeah. So if that's what you can do those, and then we'll start working it up. But I said, I'm willing to call you in the morning if it takes that, and if you're going to do it with me, then sure. It could be fun.
I love that. I love the accountability, and I love the fact that you truly you call somebody for 5 minutes. Like, why not? If it's what's going to actually make you take action, like, maybe find that buddy that's willing to do a challenge. And maybe if you don't want to do push-ups, maybe you build yourself to 100 squats. All right, just pick like one exercise, build up to it, and that's super fun. Super fun.
Yeah. On that note, we thank you so much for joining us on the Bigger Room podcast. I hope you found this inspiring and motivational. And as always, if you got value out of this, please share this with somebody who you think can benefit from it, and leave us a review, please. It'll help us out tremendously.
That's it for this one. We'll see you on next week's episode.